Hey there, survivors. Thanks for tuning in to tonight's episode. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. It really helps me keep these stories coming. And while you're here, let me know in the comments where you're listening from. Now let's get started. The lights just flickered again. That's the third time in an hour. Could be the storm knocking out lines across the city. Or someone finally decided to cut the power to Sector 4. I haven't left the lab in I don't know how many hours now. The clocks on the wall stopped updating after the last reboot, and I don't carry a phone anymore. No signal down here anyway. I'm alone in sub-level B. The door's sealed, though I left the outer airlock unlatched on purpose. If anything happens to me in here, I don't want the cleanup crew to waste time guessing. The generator kicked on. The hum under the floor vibrates through my shoes. I stare at the refrigeration unit in the center of the room. Inside it, 2 vials. One's clear, one's amber, both labeled with my own handwriting. I was never supposed to touch them. But I did. It started small. A spike in T-cell activity, then spontaneous tissue regeneration in the macaque subjects, rapid scarring, rapid healing, rapid reversion. The virus burned hot but didn't linger until subject 12. That one never died. He just sat in the corner of his cage, staring. Cuts sealed overnight. Broken bones straightened. When we sedated him for autopsy, his heart stopped for 6 minutes before restarting. I had to know. Not because I wanted to heal like him. Not because I wanted to cheat death. I just needed to understand it. So, 20 hours ago, I drew 2 milliliters of the amber sample into a clean syringe. I injected it into my forearm, 1 inch lateral to the vein. No announcement, no logs, just silence and cold air and the sound of my own breath echoing in this steel box of a lab. No symptoms at first, no fever, no rash, just a subtle warmth under the skin and a sharp metallic taste at the back of my tongue. Then I waited, read, paced, waited some more. I thought maybe I'd flushed it, that my immune system had done its job. That was before I dropped the ceramic mug. It shattered on the floor, jagged pieces catching my wrist on the way down. Deep cuts, immediate bleeding. But less than a minute later, the blood stopped. Skin pulled together. By the 5-minute mark, I couldn't even find the scar. I just stood there, staring at my arm like it didn't belong to me. The screen over the main workstation flashes red. Internal quarantine, active. I didn't activate it. Someone topside did. That means they know something's wrong. I don't know how much they know, or how much time I have. I hear footsteps in the stairwell. Not boots, sneakers. Someone trying not to be heard, which makes every creak worse. I pull the fire axe off the emergency rack and back into the hallway outside room 117. The air smells like melted plastic. The hallway's lights flicker too. Dr. Mercer? A voice calls out. Female, young, nervous. It's Allison from Lab 3. We need help. Something's happening upstairs. I don't move right away. She rounds the corner before I can answer. Her face is pale, her mask hanging loose under her chin. You're still here, she breathes. Then she sees the axe in my hand. You heard it too, right? I nod once. Dr. Han just collapsed, she says. Then he got up again, but wrong. He started bleeding from his mouth and eyes. His skin was grey. Her voice cracks. He bit one of the guards. I lower the axe. How many others? All of Sector 3's gone dark, she says. I barely got out. Everyone was screaming. Some locked the fire doors, but those things, whatever's wrong with them, they don't stop moving. Anyone else come down here? She shakes her head. I don't think so. I didn't see anyone. I glance at the sealed elevator. That's the only way up now, unless someone opens the stairwell override. I press my thumb to the biometric scanner, but it flashes red. Level lockdown, I mutter. What does that mean, she asks. It means we're stuck. The ventilation unit cycles again. A faint rattling comes through the ducts. Not wind, something heavier, like someone crawling. Allison backs away from the grate above us. They can't. No, I interrupt. Ducts are reinforced. But if they get into the maintenance shafts? I walk back into room 117. She follows reluctantly, eyes jumping from surface to surface. I close the inner lab door and bolt it from the inside. It won't hold forever, but it'll buy us time. Were you working with the samples too? She asks. I don't answer. I just walk over to the refrigerated unit, key in the override, and retrieve the second vial. The clear one. I hold it up to the light. This one slows cellular metabolism, I say. We thought it could suspend brain activity long enough to delay transmission. Does it work? On mice, on monkeys. We never tested it on humans. She doesn't press further. Smart girl. We sit in silence for a while. I keep the axe within reach. She curls into the corner by the emergency station, hugging her knees to her chest. Then the first scream cuts through the duct system. Human, but just barely. It's followed by scraping, metal on metal. Something's inside the shaft now. Dr. Mercer, she whispers. I move slowly toward the panel, listening. The shaft access is 4 feet above the ground, bolted shut, but the screws are vibrating. Allison, get behind the cabinet, I say. She doesn't argue. The grate warps inward, once, twice. Then it bursts open with a deafening clang. A body falls through, crumpling against the tile. Not infected. A man, guard uniform, bleeding badly. He groans and turns over. His eyes are bloodshot. Help, please. I kneel beside him. Where were you? Sector 2. They overran it. He coughs. Blood spatters the floor. I locked the stairwell, but one got in. He reaches toward me with a shaking hand. It bit me. Just a scratch. I think. He seizes. I don't think. I swing the axe. Clean. No hesitation. Not mercy. Necessity. Allison gasps. He wasn't one of them yet. He was going to be, I reply. She stares at me like I'm not human. I look down at my hand. A smear of his blood glistens on my knuckle. I don't feel anything. Not panic, not fear, just the low burn of something I can't describe. Allison stands. You didn't even try to save him. I meet her eyes. That's not how this works. She retreats from me, but there's nowhere to go. We're in the same cage. I sit down again and place the bloody axe on the tile. My eyes drift to the incision site on my forearm. No marks, not even a bruise. I whisper to myself, still working. But for how long? The outer alarm sounds. Someone just breached the stairwell below. That door was 10 inches thick. Someone or something tore through it. I look at Allison. We're moving, now. She doesn't argue this time. We grab what we can. Medical kit, vial case, 1 flashlight, 1 flare. I take the axe. She takes a fire extinguisher. We exit room 117. The hallway is darker than before. Fluorescents buzz overhead. Blood trails lead toward the emergency elevator. The air smells like copper and something sweet. Wrong. We walk fast. Not running. Running means noise. Noise means death. Halfway to the elevator, we see it. A silhouette, back turned, crouched over something, chewing, loud, wet tearing. Then it stops, lifts its head, twitches, turns. Not human. We freeze. It sniffs, mouth stained dark, skin blotched and torn, eyes milky. It tilts its head like a bird. Then it screams. The sound rips down the corridor, sharp and jagged, like metal tearing in half. It throws itself forward with no hesitation, fingers curled like claws, shoes scraping the tile. Its feet don't move right. Ankles loose. One leg drags behind, but it moves fast regardless, arms pumping with unnatural rhythm. I shove Allison sideways and step between her and the thing just as it crosses the last few meters. I don't think. I swing the axe again. The blade catches it at the neck. A sickening crack. Not a clean cut, but enough to spin it down into the wall. Its head rebounds with a hollow thud. Bone splits at the temple. Skin shears open, but it claws at the floor, still trying to get up. No scream this time, just guttural, wet snarling. Allison grabs the extinguisher and slams it down twice before I stop her. Enough, it's done. I pull her back. She's shaking now, but not crying. She doesn't have the breath to. The thing lies there twitching, half its skull crushed. I look at my arm again, at the place where blood splashed up from the first blow. Already dried. No reaction. Nothing spreading beneath the skin. Still me. For now. We have to move, I tell her. She nods, and we continue past the body. The elevator is still functional, but the panel flashes yellow. Warning. Limited access. Only operational to level 0. I swipe my badge. It flashes red. Then hers, green. The doors slide open slowly, reluctantly, like the whole system is dragging itself through molasses. Inside, the air is stale. Old coffee, mold, something metallic. A dried smear lines one corner of the floor, fingers most likely. Someone died here, but not recently. We descend in silence. 5 floors up, level 0. The main entry hub. Offices, security checkpoint, emergency exit hallways. Supposed to be clear. Supposed to be guarded. But when the doors open, no one is waiting. The reception desk is overturned. One of the monitors is smashed, the other blinking a static loop. No bodies, no blood. Just a few overturned chairs, a patch of broken glass, and a distant echo coming from the northern hall. Allison, stay behind me. We pass the security desk. No guards, no rifles. The rack is empty. I peek into the break room. Microwave door hanging open. Coffee pooled on the tile. An empty boot in the corner. Not a pair, just one. Someone left in a hurry. We follow the main corridor toward the exit access tunnels. These connect the building to the outer service roads. At the end of the hall, the reinforced double doors are ajar. That's not normal. Those doors only open on full-site evacuation protocols. Someone forced it, or someone high-level authorized it. The echo gets louder. A rhythmic thump, then dragging, then a brief silence. I signal to Allison to stay low. She ducks behind a support beam while I edge closer, just enough to see down the adjoining hall. It's worse than I expected. 3 of them, all infected. One with half its lab coat shredded off, the ID still clipped to its collar, Dr. Mahmoud. His jaw hangs open too far, unhinged. The one beside him has arms that twitch with each movement, like it can't control them. The third is faster than the others, pacing the hallway in tight circles, glancing at the walls like it's hunting echoes. And in the middle of the corridor, trapped against a supply cart, is a man. Still alive, maybe mid-30s. Looks like one of the sanitation crew. Bleeding from the side of his head. No weapon, just a wrench in his hand. He's breathing fast, eyes flicking between the infected like a cornered animal. I step back. Allison gives me a look. We can't just leave him. I don't answer right away, but I'm not here to play judge. Not yet. I crouch down, pull the flare from my belt and hand it to her. When I say now, throw it across the hallway far as you can, toward the back exit sign. She nods. I wait until the fast one makes another tight turn away from the cart. I motion. Now. The flare arcs through the air, clatters off the far wall, and rolls with a hiss. Bright red light spills out across the tile. All 3 infected jerk toward the noise instantly, heads snapping in unison. I run. I reach the man in 4 seconds, swing the axe once, hard at the pacing one. It hits low, knocks it off balance. I grab the injured man by the collar, haul him upright, and shove him back toward Allison. Go! She runs. He stumbles after her, clutching his side. I stay for 1 more second, long enough to see the twitching infected crawling after me, eyes wide and white, mouth stretched in a permanent scream. Then I run too. We regroup by the stairwell. No elevators past this point. The service exit leads to the underground tunnel, and then to the gate near the perimeter fence. Who are you? The man asks between gasps. Doesn't matter, I reply. Are you bitten? No, just fell. He shows me the wound. Shallow, just scalp. A lot of blood, but no sign of a bite. I nod. All right, keep pressure on it. Don't slow down. We push through the next 2 doors in sequence, each one heavier than the last. The tunnel beyond is long and half-lit. Fluorescent strips overhead flicker. Water drips from somewhere in the ceiling. The air smells old, untouched, but something's wrong. The silence feels stretched too thin. No birds, no alarms, not even the distant hum of backup generators anymore. Just the sound of our footsteps and the occasional hitch in the injured man's breathing. We pass a security camera. The red light blinks. Someone's still watching, or was. At the far end of the tunnel, we reach the service gate. It's locked with a hydraulic control box. I reach for my badge again. Nothing. Dead panel. Allison, I say, check the breaker panel. She pries it open, flips the top switch. Sparks, then a buzz. The gate lurches upward 6 inches and stops. We need a manual override, I mutter. I know where it is, the injured man says. Storage closet, other side of that wall. I worked night shifts down here. Show me. We run together to the wall junction. He yanks open a low door with chipped blue paint. Inside, a set of emergency controls. He slams the lever down. The gate grinds upward. That's when we hear it. A metallic crash behind us, echoing down the tunnel. The scream comes next, followed by the pounding of feet, more than one, dozens. I spin around. Shadows stretch along the tunnel walls, arms swinging, mouths open. Some of them crawl, some sprint, some stagger, but all of them are coming. Move, I shout. The injured man stumbles. I grab him again. Allison's already halfway under the rising gate. We dive through as the infected close the distance. I hit the pavement hard on the other side, roll, and yank the lever from this side. The gate shudders and locks mid-height. One of them almost makes it, fingers through the bars. I chop them off. The hand twitches on the ground beside me for a moment. Then it goes still. We run again, up the access road, past the empty parking lots. The sky overhead is slate grey, the sun somewhere behind the clouds. Ash falls in light drifts from the east. Maybe something burned. Maybe everything did. No signs of helicopters, no shuttles, no evac. The city skyline is visible in the distance. Smoke rises from 2 spots near the river. Sirens in the distance, but distorted, broken. I help the man to a sitting position beside a broken fence. Allison drops beside us, pulling the emergency kit from her bag. She bandages the head wound quickly. Hands steady, practiced. Not her first injury. Dr. Mercer, she says, looking at me sharply. We can't keep running like this. There has to be a rally point. I pull out the last working radio. Channel 4 is static. Channel 7 is looping an automated message. If you are hearing this, proceed to the Red Line checkpoint near Turner Stadium. Authorized evac zone. Bring no infected. Identification required. I switch to Channel 9. A voice breaks through. Repeat. Biohazard breach at CDC Complex B. All outbound corridors compromised. Airlift denied. Perimeter collapse at zones 2A through 3C. Casualty ratio unknown. Reinforcements withdrawn. This is not a drill. Silence. Then static. I put the radio down. Allison closes her eyes. So that's it. No, I say quietly. That's not it. She looks at me. I meet her gaze. There's another site. Deep storage 3 miles from here. It's not in any public protocol. No airlift, no guards. But it's sealed. Lead-lined. Has its own water and power. She frowns. How do you know that? I don't answer. The injured man watches us both. If that place is real, he says slowly, then we need to go now. We stand again. The road ahead is cracked, buckled in places. No cars, no helicopters. Just the echo of the wind and the sound of something distant. Howls, maybe. Not wolves. We keep walking. Allison doesn't talk anymore. She just watches the skyline with a tight jaw, like if she stares hard enough, it'll turn back into the city she remembers. The sanitation tech, we never got his name, walks with a slight limp, blood drying at his temple, his shirt stuck to the wound under his ribs. I told him we'd tape it properly once we reached cover, but I don't think he's going to last that long. The sky keeps darkening. Not from nightfall, not yet. It's smoke. Something big is burning behind the trees to our left. Could be a neighborhood, could be a gas line. The air tastes metallic now, and the flakes drifting from the sky are heavier, ash mixed with something fibrous. I pull a filter mask from my kit and give the other two what I have left. A cloth wrap for Allison and a folded chemical cloth for the tech. 2 miles, I say. Maybe less, if we cut through the rail yard. The man stops. That's past the canal. No bridges left there. The westbound ones were torched. You'll have to jump the tracks or go around. We go through the yard, I say. Storm culvert runs underneath. It's concrete. Raised. He looks at me like I've done the walk before. I have, but I don't say that. Instead, I take the lead. We pass burned-out buses on the feeder road. Most of them are empty now, but some still have shadows slumped inside. One has red marks on the windshield from the inside. Fingers. Another has a scorched outline in the middle seat. No bodies. Just the faint shape of someone who stayed too long. I don't let us stop. After 20 minutes of steady walking, the road narrows into gravel. Ahead, the rail yard emerges from behind a tree line, flat and sprawling with long rows of tankers and cargo cars. The gate is down, bent at the center where something large smashed through it. The fence line is torn open on the left side. We slip through. Inside, the rail yard feels abandoned, but not empty. The kind of silence where everything is watching from corners you can't quite see. We skirt around the main switching station and head toward the culvert near the grain silos. I spot movement on the other side of the tracks. 2 shapes dart between a set of coal hoppers, then vanish. Not infected. Too smooth, too fast. Allison, I whisper. Go ahead with him. Get under the culvert. I'll follow. She hesitates but nods. They move quick across the gravel, ducking behind a tipped-over handcart, then slipping into the shallow trench beneath the rails. I count to 10, then move wide around the cars where I saw movement. Closer now, I hear voices. Low, urgent, human. 3 men, armed. One has a scoped rifle, another a pipe, the third some kind of modified garden shears. None in uniform. Scavengers, maybe. Or worse. They're watching the culvert. I watch them. She's got a med bag, one says, nodding toward the direction Allison just went. We follow, the tall one replies. Could be others. Could be more supplies. Keep quiet. No gunshots unless they run. I step out from behind the boxcar and throw a rock. It hits the siding 10 feet to their left. They jump. 2 of them draw weapons. The one with the shears runs toward the sound. That's enough. I step behind him and grab the back of his neck, yank him sideways into the metal stairwell. He drops the shears. I slam his head once, just once, against the rail post. His body goes still, not dead, but out. The others hear it. I run, gravel scattering. One of them shouts something. I loop around the silo, drop low behind a rusted truck, and wait. The second one passes me, chasing the shadow he thinks he saw. When he rounds the truck, I swing the axe from below. He falls like a dropped marionette. The third man, the one with the rifle, doesn't chase. He holds back, scanning. Smarter, careful. I stay low, circle wide, trying not to breathe too loud. The moment I hear his foot hit the grated walkway above, I move. Up the side ladder 2 rungs at a time. My hands sting where the metal rubs raw. Doesn't matter, no time. He's waiting for a shot when I reach the top. I grab his leg and pull. He fires once. The bullet tears through my side. Not deep, but it punches through the meat just above my hip. I grunt, twist, and drag him down hard. He hits the walkway, scrambles. I grab the rifle barrel and slam it down across his chest. Then I stop. He looks at me. Really looks. Not angry. Not afraid. "What are you?" he asks, staring at the wound in my side. Already the blood has slowed. The skin is knitting back together in shallow threads. I don't answer. I just stand, take his rifle, and leave him breathing. Back at the culvert, Allison crouches beside the injured tech. Her hands are bloody. She looks up at me, startled. "You're bleeding." "Not anymore." She frowns. "You were shot?" "It's fine." She glances at the rifle, then at me again. "What happened?" "3 hostiles. 2 are down, 1's alive. Won't follow." She doesn't ask more. The culvert takes us beneath the rest of the yard and out into a shallow drainage field just past the second track line. From here, the tower isn't visible, but I know we're close. We move quick now. The tech is fading. He mumbles a lot. Name fragments. Something about his wife. A trailer in Cobb County. I keep a hand under his elbow to help him move. We can't stop. If he collapses here, we leave him. I won't say it out loud, but Allison knows. At the far end of the drainage field, we reach the perimeter fence of the reserve compound. It's overgrown, chain link bent in several places. Behind it, a flat clearing stretches up toward a concrete outbuilding, unmarked, windowless. Power lines run into it from underground, a single keypad beside the steel door. We made it. I type in the code. The door unlocks with a dry hiss. Inside, the room is lit by emergency LEDs. Still power, still functioning. We drag the injured man inside and shut the door. The air here is sterile, dust-free, temperature-controlled. The far wall is lined with supply crates, medical coolers, 2 generator units. No windows. 1 chair. I help the tech down into the corner and slide a blanket under his back. His pulse is shallow, breaths thin. I check his pupils. He's not going to make it. Allison sits across from me. She hasn't said anything for a long time, just watches me, hands folded in her lap. Finally, she speaks. "You knew this place was here. You knew how to reach it. You knew how to fight. You knew what code to use." I don't look at her. "I designed it." She stiffens. "You're not just a researcher." "I was the head of the containment protocol. Everything below Sector 5, my jurisdiction. This place was built as an endpoint, in case none of the evac options worked. And the virus, the one that spreads fast, mutates cells, turns people into whatever those things are. I worked on it. Originally it was a neurological suppressant, military-grade sedation compound. Then it evolved. And you're infected." My silence confirms it. "But you're not like them," she says. "You're healing. You were shot. I saw it. Now there's nothing." I injected a prototype variant. It didn't suppress the virus, it modified it. Rewrote cell behavior, accelerated repair, blocked neural degradation. And now? Now I can't die. At least not like them. She stares. "You're saying you can't turn?" "I've tried." Her eyes widen. "You tried?" "I wanted to see if it had limits. It doesn't." The silence stretches. Then she looks at the man in the corner. His breathing's gone shallow. Sweat pools at his collar. "We can't help him," I say quietly. "We have to try. You don't understand what happens if he turns in here. I'm not leaving him like this." I walk over and kneel beside him. He opens one eye. "Cold," he whispers. "Just rest." Then I take the rifle, remove the bolt, and place it on the floor beside me. Slowly. So Allison sees. "I'm staying with him," I say. "There's a second access door at the rear. Take the tunnel past the water tanks. It'll put you on the maintenance road. Lead straight west." She looks at me like she wants to argue, but she doesn't. Instead, she stands. "You could have left us." "I did." She doesn't ask what that means. The rear door opens, closes again. Now it's just me, and him, and the quiet pulse of air through the ceiling vents. I sit beside him for hours. He doesn't scream when it starts, just coughs once. Then his eyes roll white. His hands claw the blanket, stiff and tight. His chest heaves, then stops. For a moment I wonder if that's it. If the body will lie still and cool and this won't be another one of them. But I know better. I've seen it too many times now. The breathless stillness before the spark. The body purges the man he was and resets the rhythm into something else. Something driven by reflex and instinct, and that whispering signal the infected seem to share. The transformation finishes in under a minute. There's no dramatic snap of bones, no screaming resurrection. Just silence, then twitching. The fingers curl inward. The spine stiffens. The head lolls to the side, then snaps back into alignment like a marionette pulled by invisible strings. When the eyes open, they're glazed and milky. The lips twitch apart in something that's too close to a grin. And then it moves. The thing that used to be a man throws itself at me, snarling, hands flailing. It's fast, faster than it should be, even with the injuries. It slams into me and we both go down hard, my back against the cold tile. Its teeth snap an inch from my face. I hold its shoulders back, but its weight shifts, claws digging into my arm. Then it bites. It doesn't hesitate. Its jaw clamps down into the muscle of my neck, just above the collarbone. I feel skin split, feel the dull grind of pressure. And then, white. Not pain, not exactly. More like a collapsing. A plunge inward, like every nerve fires at once then gets torn free. My vision dims. My arms go limp. My legs spasm. I hear the wet sounds of tearing flesh, bone cracking. A second bite, lower, closer to my jaw. And then nothing. I don't know how long I'm gone. The time between death and return isn't a dream or a blackout. It's absence, pure and simple, like being deleted. When I wake, I'm on the floor in a puddle of half-dried blood. My blood. The body of the infected man lies 3 feet away, half its skull crushed, its chest caved in from what looks like blunt force trauma. There's a fire extinguisher beside it, dented. Allison must have come back. I sit up slowly. Everything aches. Not pain exactly, just a tightness that clings to the joints and muscles as they rebuild. My skin knits itself back together in real time. I run a finger along my neck and find only a thin line of raw tissue, already closing. My left eye still feels strange, blurry on the edge. Probably not fully regrown yet. The room smells like rust and something worse. The air's thicker now. I check the generator readouts. Power still stable. 1 cooler offline. Might be a short in the junction. Doesn't matter. I wipe the drying blood off my hands and clean the floor with bleach from the emergency cabinet. It's habit now. I don't want to leave signs of what happened here, not for her, if she comes back. Then I move to the small terminal in the far corner. It still works, though only the internal system is online, no uplink. I open my encrypted logs and begin typing. Attempt 47. Partial systemic death confirmed. 2 full cranial bites. Recovery time, approximately 4 minutes. Memory retention intact. Tissue regrowth consistent with last 10 trials. Notably, emotional response post-recovery is dulled. Less shock, no dissociation, possible neurological flattening. Containment remains theoretical. Emotional burden increasing. I don't know what I am. I pause. Save the log, then delete the temp files. If someone else finds this place, I don't want them to know what was tried here, what I did. Hours pass. I sit on the cot and stare at the door. I think about the first time I tested regeneration, when I sliced my hand open and watched it seal in less than a minute. I thought it was a breakthrough. I called it a bridge to immune permanence. The next step in human survival. What I didn't know, what none of us knew, was that the virus wasn't just rebuilding tissue. It was rewriting its own rules inside me, learning how to keep its host functional without consuming it. The others turned because their bodies lost the battle for control. I never did. But something inside me did change, and I can't undo it. At some point I fall into a shallow sleep. Not real sleep, not with the buzzing in my skull, but enough to lose track of time. When I wake, The lights have dimmed. Power saving mode. I hear something. Not inside, outside. I kill the lights entirely and move to the slit window built into the upper corner of the concrete structure. It's small, no wider than a shoebox, but it gives me just enough of a view. Something's moving along the access road. 2 figures, human silhouettes. One tall, holding a rifle. The other limping slightly. Smaller frame. Could be her. I reach for the emergency beacon and tap twice on the trigger. Short pulses, low frequency. It doesn't emit visible light, just a signal someone with the paired transponder could follow. The 2 figures pause, then start toward the compound. Allison comes through the door first, rifle held low but ready. Her clothes are torn, hair tied back with what looks like an old shoelace. Her face is grim but not panicked. Behind her is a teenage boy, maybe 17, thin, tired, carrying a crossbow slung over his back and a small duffel. His eyes are too still for someone that young. I know the look. Allison says nothing at first, just looks at the spot where the body used to be. I gesture toward the bleach bucket. He turned. I figured. The boy says nothing, just watches me. He yours? I ask. She shakes her head. Found him hiding in a school bus outside Norcross. He saved me from a crawler. Name? Eli. The boy doesn't flinch, doesn't speak. We're out of food, she says. We need to rest and we can't stay here long. I nod. There's a secondary cache under the floor hatch. Enough rations for 3 for 4 days, maybe 5 if we go light. She raises an eyebrow. Planning to host company? Not anymore. We eat in silence. MREs heated over a small chemical pad. The boy finally speaks when I hand him a pouch of beans. You are dead. I pause. What? In the reports, the ones from the CDC radio loop, it listed you as deceased protocol failure. Same name. Mercer. I nod slowly. That's not entirely inaccurate. He watches me like I'm not real. Later, after Allison and Eli sleep, I step outside. The night air is colder now. The fire to the east has dimmed, but smoke still rides the wind. In the distance, a siren loops once, then dies. Somewhere farther off, there's the low howl again. Not an animal, not human either, something in between, maybe something new. I sit on the gravel with my back against the wall and look at my hands. They're mine. But they've also been rebuilt, grown back, more times than I care to count. Each time it gets faster, cleaner, like my cells are anticipating injury. I tried to overdose 2 nights ago. All the muscle relaxants we had in the kit just made me pass out for an hour. Woke up with a strange taste in my mouth and a ringing in my ears. Still alive. I burned my forearm once, with a hot pipe. Watched the skin bubble and split, gone in minutes. I think sometimes about walking into a herd, letting them tear everything apart. Maybe there's a threshold. Maybe I haven't hit it yet. Maybe if I'm devoured, completely. But then I wonder, what if I come back anyway? No skin, no eyes, no tongue, just nerves, just thought, trapped. Then I hear movement behind me, soft footsteps. Allison sits beside me, legs pulled to her chest. I saw you die, she says, back in the lab. I didn't think you'd get up. I always get up. Is it worth it? I don't answer. She shifts, draws the rifle across her knees. I saw the transmission logs on the terminal. You've been recording everything, but not sending. There's nowhere left to send them. What about the satellite uplinks? They shut those down after the first perimeter breach. Anything that goes out now gets flagged, traced, buried. She nods slowly. What if we built our own loop? I look at her. What? You've got the gear, the portable relay. You could set it to loop your recordings. Not to warn, just to explain. Why? Because people are going to find your notes one day. Maybe a decade from now. Maybe after all this ends, if it ever does. Someone should know what happened. Allison's voice disappears into the night air, but the weight of it stays. She doesn't look at me when she says it. She just stares across the field, past the skeletal tree line to where the horizon flickers with distant, unnatural firelight. Her hands rest on the rifle. She holds it like someone who didn't grow up around weapons, but learned quickly out of necessity. Fingers tight, shoulders ready, eyes steady. The quiet between us stretches out, and I don't feel it. She's right, of course. Someone should know. Not for justice, not for absolution. There's none left to offer either. But if this world ever rebuilds itself, even from the ash and bone of what we left behind, the next version of us should know how far a single mistake can spread. I stand slowly and return to the concrete structure. Eli's still inside, asleep, breathing in shallow pulls. He's young enough to recover from the damage he's seen, maybe even to forget some of it, if he survives. But I doubt he'll forget me. No one forgets the first time they see a dead man get back up. I kneel at the terminal and begin recording. This is Dr. Isaac Mercer, former lead researcher of the CDC's Viral Neuroengineering Program, Unit 12B. I am a containment breach in human skin. I am recording this now, not to warn the living, but to confess. I was the first to carry variant C. I was the first to suppress it, to weaponize it, to hide the side effects. I didn't mean to start this, but I did. And now, I can't end it, not even by dying. I stop, rewind, play it back once. The voice doesn't sound like mine anymore. Too flat, too calm. I guess that's what happens when you've died more times than you can count, when pain becomes predictable, when fear fades into routine. I connect the transmitter to the uplink coil, repurpose the signal boost from the emergency flare network, and set it to loop on a low bandwidth frequency, shortwave, analog. It's primitive, but it's resilient. Might travel hundreds of miles, might fade in a week. Doesn't matter. The truth is out now. Allison helps me pack the supplies. She doesn't speak much. Eli stays silent too, but his posture has changed. Less fear, more resolve. Maybe he thinks I'm a weapon now. Maybe that's all he needs to believe in to keep going. I won't correct him. We move out at first light. The compound was never meant to be a shelter, just a failsafe, a last resort. The air's going bad anyway. Something chemical has tainted the wind from the east. The fields we cross are grey with ash, the soil coated in flakes of scorched insulation, melted plastic, bone dust. I can tell the others are breathing through their sleeves. I don't bother. My lungs burn a little, then stop. My skin itches, then heals. 10 miles out, we reach a neighborhood that looks untouched from a distance. Clean rooftops, unbroken fences, cars still parked in driveways. For a second, it looks like we've stepped back in time. But the silence tells a different story. We explore cautiously, rifles raised, steps quiet on the pavement. Every house is empty, not ransacked, abandoned. Dishes in sinks, lights still on in some places. A television flashes static in a living room, the words "Please stand by" burned into the screen. No blood, no broken doors, just gone. We find signs in the church basement. Dozens of cots, neat rows, clipboards with names, boxes of canned food untouched, water bottles stacked high. Then in the hallway near the furnace, scratches, deep ones, like fingernails dragged along plaster. Farther down, dried footprints, bare feet, erratic spacing, then handprints, black. None of us speak. We leave before nightfall. By the third day, the road is barely visible anymore. Trees have started to reclaim the lanes, roots buckling the asphalt, vines climbing over old billboards that still promise protection starts with protocol. We pass an overturned military convoy, Humvees stripped of their tires, windows spider-webbed with cracks. One has bullet holes across the hood. Another has a handprint in blood on the rear door pressed from the inside. Allison and Eli check the crates. Most are empty. One has a sealed container of iodine tablets and a case of dehydrated meals. She hands them out quietly. I take nothing. They know now. I didn't tell them, but they saw me last night, watched as one of the infected ambushed me during watch, tore through my shoulder, tore my throat, and left me twitching on the roadside. I was still alive an hour later, skin stitching back over the wound. When I stood up, neither of them ran, but neither of them looked me in the eye after that either. That night, around the fire, Eli finally asks what I've been waiting for. "Do you feel it when you die?" I look into the flames. "Yes." He nods once and doesn't speak again. On the 6th day, we reach the tower. It juts from a ridgeline overlooking the dead city below. Tall, skeletal, half wrapped in scaffolding that's been rusted through by time and storms. It was supposed to be a relay station, never completed. I used to run diagnostics on its systems during early tests. It still has a backup core beneath the lower deck. We climb. Allison wires the signal loop into the dish controls. The panel lights up red, then amber, then steady green. A short buzz of static follows. Then my voice fills the silence again. I leave it playing. Allison and Eli settle in the storage shed at the base. I don't follow. I stay near the edge of the platform, looking down at the city. Fires burn in 3 separate districts now. Helicopters haven't passed overhead in days. No lights in the distance. No emergency flares. Just long columns of smoke curling into a sky the color of bruised glass. I lean against the railing and close my eyes. Sometime in the early morning, I step away from the tower. I don't wake them. I take nothing. The road bends west through the skeletal remains of the outer boroughs. I pass hollow storefronts, gutted gas stations. I pass a school with the roof caved in and swings that still move in the wind. I walk alone for 2 hours. Then I stop. Ahead of me is a herd. Not the biggest I've seen, maybe 30. They move like fish in a current, heads tilted at strange angles, some missing arms, one missing its entire jaw. They haven't seen me yet. I wait. Then I step into the road and make sure they do. They freeze for a moment. Then they come. I don't run. The first one hits me low, a crawling thing with nails filed to nubs. It bites deep into my calf. Another slams into my chest, teeth in my throat. The rest pile on, limbs tear, bones snap. My vision tunnels. But this time I don't try to fight it. I just let go. I wake in pieces. I don't know how many hours have passed. The sun is low again. Late afternoon? The sky has shifted to that yellow-grey shade it gets just before another firestorm rolls in. My body reforms slowly. Skin first, then nerves, then pressure behind the eyes. Breathing comes last. When I finally sit up, I'm surrounded by corpses. Dozens, maybe more. Some are torn apart, some burned. Something else happened here after I blacked out. Maybe a lightning strike. Maybe something worse. Doesn't matter. I stand. The pain is gone again. The hunger never comes. I start walking back toward the tower. I'm not done. I don't know how long this will last. I don't know if I'm becoming something else, or if this is what I've always been. I only know that I keep getting up. That the world keeps dying. That nothing, no matter how many times I let myself be torn apart, has been able to end it. But maybe that's the point. Maybe my purpose was never to survive it. That's all for now. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more unsettling creepypastas. Your support keeps my channel alive. Until next time, stay quiet, stay vigilant, and trust nothing, not even the silence.